Welcome back to Book Bree and Owl Nest. I'm Bree, and today we're going to talk about why Disney is struggling with their live actions, because they've made too many, and now the films that we really want to see are not coming out, not being released, not being filmed. So we're going to talk about it. So if you'd like to watch more videos like this, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. So grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and let's chat. 15 years ago, Disney released the cherished classic, Tangled. We have Rapunzel, amazing, Flynn Rider, annoyingly charming, and together they created like the cutest Disney couple next to Tiana and Naveen, Mulan and Shang. Like, it was perfect. And then, you know, as you're watching the movie and the years go on, you begin to think, like, if this was live action, who would play these characters? So Disney later on was like, maybe we should do some live action remakes, because that is going to definitely play into the nostalgia factor of a lot of our Disney fan base. And it makes sense. Keep in mind though, this is not Disney's first live action remakes. This was also back in the 90s with 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians in 2000.
I did not say that.
Oh, you did.
I did not.
You did?
It is not.
They had a track record of it before, but they're like, what if we did more? And we've been waiting for the Tangled live action remake. We've been waiting and hearing, you know, some type of news in response. And so Disney's like, okay guys, y'all ready? Y'all ready for this news? Y'all ready to hear when Tangled's gonna be released? And everybody's like, yes, they're waiting with bated breath. And they say that it's not gonna happen.
Is that the only word that you know? No?
No.
Oh, yeah.
What? Disney, this is supposed to be on the schedule. We have great songs, we have a great, like, script, like, why isn't this happening? And why'd you have to break the news to us like this? You could have said like, oh, you know, maybe we're still working on it. We're just gonna give it a few more years and, you know, maybe have time to actually have some fun on this project instead of rushing everything. And, you know, and it makes it just feel like it's, you know, we're only in it for the money.
Cheeky.
So we have some news released by this Variety article by Pat Saperstein, and it says Disney's Tangled live action movie on hold indefinitely. Indefinitely? So you mean if I call up Disney right now, they're gonna put me on hold?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
You.
Forever. Thank you.
What up, what up, what up?
Winston.
Hello?
Winston, I said yo.
Wait, who's this?
So in this article, it states, the decision comes amid Disney's release of Snow White. Y'all, Snow White, it was struggling. It was struggling, and I will tell you, yeah, the numbers here in just a moment, but like, was anybody interested in seeing Snow White? Like, I know it's a classic, and I know it was Disney's first film, right? But no one was going like, oh, I really need to see that Snow White movie. No, I really hear people saying like, I really want to see Tangled, or I want to see Princess and the Frog. You know, even though she was a frog for most of the movie, but maybe we can make a second one. Okay, I digress.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
But back to the article here. So amidst Disney release of Snow White, which has grossed a tepid 69 million to date domestically and 145 million worldwide.
-$1.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad compared to what they've had in the past. Okay, so let me talk about this budget first, and then I'll show you what the numbers were like for The Lion King in 2019. So Snow White this year, they had a budget of anywhere at the range of 240 million to 270 million. Again, in the article, they're saying 69 million to date domestically. and 145 million worldwide. Are we getting anywhere close to that number for the budgets? What happened? This is, oh my gosh. And they could have held off on this too, because they're making too many. And what we saw with The Lion King, okay, in 2019, was they had a budget of 250 to 260 million. Box office numbers, they made 1.6 billion, not million, billion dollars. Compared to where we are now, this is pretty bad. So the article goes on to state that Disney will continue to mine its animated library with 2 upcoming titles, Lilo and Stitch, due May 23rd, and Moana opening July 10th, 2026. So, yep, we're not getting Tangled right now, and that is unfortunate because I think if Disney had just slowed down, especially with a lot of these live action remakes, then we probably could have had Tangled or Hercules or The Princess and the Frog, which that came out as well about them ending the series for Tiana, and that was unfortunate. We'll get to that. But Disney, I think, took advantage of the fact they had this renaissance in the, was it 1989 to 1999. And they thought that if they made most of those films, then it would bring that nostalgia back.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
So let's go back to the beginning of these live action remakes for Disney with, like we talked about in the beginning there with 101 Dalmatians. That came out in 1996. Okay, this is in the midst of the Disney Renaissance, and they're like, you know what? Let's try out something. And they came up with a budget of 67 million? Yeah, 67 million to create 101 Dalmatians. And they were able to have Glenn Close. Yes, the Glenn Close, the legend that she is.
And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. She was amazing at that role because I remember seeing that and I was terrified of that woman.
Ladies, gentlemen.
I was like, Cruella de Vil, like, why are you so mean to these puppies? And why can't these puppies live just and be free, okay?
Why?
So they did really well with the box office numbers at $320 million. So then about 4 years later, they came out with 102 Dalmatians in 2000 with a budget of 85 million. So we had a budget increase there. And then the box office numbers were 183.6 million. So that didn't really make much of an impact like it did the first film. I don't know why, because when my sister and I saw 100 Dalmatians 2, we loved it. We have it on VHS. We were like, it was a classic to us. The first one and the second one, like, they were both good. But Disney's like, we probably should slow down with that, you know, focus on other things, especially when they just had the success of Mulan and Tarzan. So 10 years down the road, they decided to release Alice in Wonderland, their first live action that they've seen in a while, and that released the same year as Tangled. So they had a budget of 150 million to 200 million, and the box office they made $1 billion. So they were pretty impressed with themselves. They're like, you know what? Maybe that live action thing there with 101 Dalmatians, maybe there's something to that. So later on they had Maleficent and Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. Like, they were doing really well. And instead of pausing and trying to see, okay, what's working and what's not working, Disney's like, okay, let's find directors, let's find some actors, and let's keep making these films because they're making us money and people are loving them.
Shut up!
a pardon?
So we get to 2017, and with the release of Beauty and the Beast, they made $1.2 billion. 2 years later, 2019, one of their best years yet, because in that same year, they released 2 live action remakes for Aladdin and The Lion King. So Aladdin made $1 billion, and The Lion King made $1.6 billion in the same year. Y'all, back to back. Aladdin came out in May, and The Lion King came out in July. Like, Disney was making that money. So when we get to Mulan, this is where we're gonna have some struggles here. And it's unfortunate because it's one of my favorite Disney movies. Mulan had a budget of $200 million. In box office, they made back $69 million. Now, with that project, there were many problems that they went through, unfortunately, with COVID and with box office numbers, like with theater releases and what they were going to do. There's also a lot of creative differences. Like, they didn't want to put the music in there, y'all. No musical in Mulan. No reflection. No, I'll make a man out of you. Like, that right there. Like, I was like, y'all, no.
We're dialed.
So at that point, Disney was struggling of what to do. And I bet they went to the drawing board and said, okay, what is one Disney Renaissance that we're leaving out that people love so much and they will talk about all the time? And that is The Little Mermaid. So they're like, okay, let's get casting, let's get, production on this, let's get writing on this, because I think this is going to help us out. So they casted Halle Bailey and Jonah Andre Hayer King, and it was successful. Not as successful as it could have been, because people thought, they're like, oh, we can't have a black mermaid, like, we can't have a black Ariel, that doesn't make sense, and the mermaids can't be black. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
This is the most incompetent, worthless report I have ever read in my life!
But they were still able to have a box office of $569 million. You would think by now, okay, after all the movies that have happened, that Disney finally just pumps the brakes and says, hey, we're gonna take some time to figure out which remakes we want to make, and so we can make the best possible movies for you. But no, they kept going. They kept going. And we also heard from the Hollywood Reporter by Pamela McClintock, Tiana Disney Plus series shelved as Walt Disney Animation abandons long-form streaming. They told us back in 2020 that this was gonna happen. This is Disney's first black princess, and this is how we're treating her? Disrespect, the disrespect. Sources close to the streaming series says that despite its best efforts, including several changes to the creative, Tiana ultimately could not get to where it needed to be given production costs. Interesting. So this is where Disney wants to pump the brakes. Okay.
I think I've made my feelings clear.
So what does Disney need to do moving forward? Number one, slow down. Pick one project at a time. Yes, it's gonna take time on some of these projects, but that means there's gonna be a lot of heart put into the film, that people are gonna be paid well because you're not rushing everybody, to stay on schedule and be like, okay, gotta get that movie out. You have time to create a masterpiece. There's a masterpiece that came before, and that was the animated film. On projects like Tarzan with Phil Collins, like, you should be grateful, like, we were able to have those amazing moments, and then we get to celebrate them.
It's a secret party. It's a secret party. It's a secret party. Let's go see.
Second thing they need to do is open casting and up and coming actors, because I saw a lot with the fan casting for Tangled, and they're like Florence Pugh and Jonathan Bailey as Flynn Rider. that's great, but like they are already in so many other projects that you're not getting other actors a chance to shine.
She's got a point.
The third thing would be watch the pace of your film, because if the original animated feature was like an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes, do not make your film 2 hours or something incredibly lengthy because you're like, oh, like look at the prestige that we have now. Like, look at us go. No, and especially for the children watching, they're like, I'm exhausted. 2 hours of film is too much. Stop adding things into the film that aren't necessary. Add things that are going to enhance the film, to add more depth to it. But you don't have to take forever to do that, okay? And the fourth thing that they need to do, have fun. And remember when Disney was having fun? We had Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, the drama alone, I love that movie immensely. Lion King 2, I was here for that love story. Is it Kovu and Kiara? Like, my heart for them, like they're so adorable. And then what else we have? Yeah, Mulan 2. We saw all the ups and downs of Mulan and Shang's relationship. Like, I needed to see that, and that's what they gave me. This is what it's all about. Like, yes, there is the money aspect and people need to get paid. Yes, and Disney is a company. But if there's no heart in the art, oh wow, heart in the art. If there's no heart in the art, why are you making it? Because the audience, we're gonna see right through that. We're like, well, this was a money grab. Yep, I see it again. But if you have fun with it, you have fun over the aesthetic, you know, they're like, oh, it's aesthetically pleasing, you know, it's beautiful to look at, but it had no heart, then you missed the whole meaning of the Disney Renaissance. Like, each movie had a lesson that we were learning, and it was fun. We had musicals, but it just brought people together. And some of these Disney remakes, they're not bringing people together, and it's unfortunate. Like, learn from the lesson of, yeah, your own remake, Cinderella in 2015. Have courage and be kind. Have the courage to slow down and be kind to all the creatives that are working on this project, please, so that we're able to enjoy these films and we can pass it down from generation to generation. Please and thank you. So thank you for joining me on my long-winded TED Talk about Disney remakes, but let me know in the comments what you think about Disney remakes and their schedule. Are you upset at the fact that there is no Tangled or Hercules there in the future? Or are you happy that they're pausing and taking a break because it's been a lot? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a comfy and cozy rest of your day. Bye!